you have your time. Yeah. Okay. I will share my screen and maybe you can let me know if you can see. So you can see my screen, right? So someone will ping the chat if you can see my screen.
You can see your screen.
Yeah. So myself, Prasath. So I am an UiPath MVP for the 2021, and today we are going to see what is string manipulation and regular expression in UiPath. So what is string manipulation? So string manipulation is nothing but modifying or altering the string which we get when the bot runs and get the desired output we need. So most of the time we are not getting the input in the correct format which we require. So we use some modification using the built-in methods or using the regular expression and modify that input string into an output which we require. So yeah, the most of the time we are need to make sure. So now we know what is string manipulation and what is regular expression. Now today we can see what is the agenda. So the agenda for today is what is string. So basically what is string. We are going to use in the multiple formats in the UiPath or any programming language, but we need to make sure what is string and what is the property and how can we use the string in UiPath or any programming language, and what are the various .NET methods. So .NET has the inbuilt methods which we can use to manipulate the string. Like we can use that to trim the value, use to change the case, like we can use the methods to change the uppercase to lowercase or lowercase to uppercase. So anything we can do, we can use the built-in .NET methods which we use. So, and what is regular expression? So, and how to use the regular expression in UiPath, and what are the various patterns which we are going to use in regular expression. And then after we saw everything in technical point of view, we are going to do some demo on the various .NET methods and regex patterns. So what is string? So string is a data type in .NET framework or any programming language. So data type is nothing but it is representing what it is going to save. So like in .NET framework, integer is representing a number. So for decimal, it is representing an decimal value, like it is in points. Likewise, string will represent a sequence of characters. So the sequence of characters can contain letters, numbers, or any special characters. Basically, it can contain an alphanumeric. So it is a literal sequence of characters. It cannot change during the runtime. So we have to change it manually during the runtime. So it is used to hold a specific information when the bot runs, and then we can use that variable across the workflows as a variable or an argument. So each character can be recognized by using its index. So likewise, we have a string called hello world. So the H, it is an character. So it is a single character and the index is 0. So the index of the string starts with 0. So likewise, E will be 1. So it will increment for every character. So it is a sequence of character and each character will represent an index starting from 0. Likewise, what is character? Character is a single letter, and then string is a sequence of characters, sequence of letters. So string is nothing but a sequence of alphanumeric characters. So that is what string. And how to use string in UiPath or in general in any programming language. So the first thing we need to make sure is string has to be represented inside the double quotes. So that is the basic rule for representing the string. And then string can be used anywhere in the activity, like in the message box, in the log message, or anywhere in the activity, like an input which the activity requires. So as long as the data type of that activity requires an string type. So if it is an string type, we can input that string into the activities property. So likewise, if we have two strings and you need to append both these strings, we can use multiple methods to concatenate this string, but the basic one is using the operator. So we can use the plus operator to append two strings. Like if you have one string with the word hello and another string with the word world. So now you need to add these two strings. So you can use the plus operator, hello plus world. So it will concatenate those two strings and it will produce an different output string. Like it will provide an hello world. So now we saw what is string, how to use the string in UiPath, what are the activities which we require to use the string. Now we are going to see what are the various .NET methods to manipulate this string. So .NET framework has a lot of methods which we can use to manipulate or modify the input string which we need to change into the desired output we need. So the basic one is toString. So as the name suggests, toString is nothing but convert another data type to a string. So if you have a number, so it is an type integer. So we have to change that integer to a string. So we can use .toString. ToString is nothing but it convert that data type to string. And then there are a couple of other methods which we can use to convert this string, like CSTR. CSTR is an abbreviation for convert to string. So in backward, so in previous .NET frameworks which we have, there in the latest framework it is .toString. So we have another methods called convert .toString, which is another method. So it basically all the three methods will convert the data, another data type to a string data type. So I will show that in the demo how to use these methods. And then if you want to trim the spaces in the string, so likewise, if you get an scrap the data from an like you say you scrap the data from an web browser, so you scrap the name of the company like UiPath, so that name contains spaces at the starting and ending of the string, so you don't need the space, you need to trim it. So for that we can use multiple methods to trim the spaces, like trim start, trim end. So these are the latest methods, and we can use the other methods like trim, L trim, R trim. So L trim is nothing but left trim and R trim is nothing but right trim. So these are the previous methods which in the .NET framework, and the whichever methods I put dot before the method name, it is the latest method. So dot trim start and dot trim end in the is the latest methods provided by the .NET framework, and the below ones are the methods which we use that in the previous .NET frameworks. Like you can see that methods in the VBA, Excel VBAs. So that is the previous methods of the .NET framework, which is in VB version 6. So now we are using the latest frameworks. And then now you want to change the, you trim the data. Now you want to change the case of the string. So like you need to change the string to an uppercase or lowercase, or it is a proper case. Proper case is nothing but you have multiple words in the string, like hello space word. So after each space, it will make the first letter of that word capital. So hello world means hello, H will be capital and everything will be small case. And then space world. So W will be capital and everything will be the lowercase. So that is the proper case. And then U case and L case, as it is in previous methods used by .NET framework, it is an uppercase and lowercase. And then contains and equals. So you have a string with the text hello UiPath. So now you need to check if the string contains the word UiPath. So we can use the method called contains, and then we need to pass the word UiPath. So it will check if the particular word UiPath is contained in the input string or not. So if it is contained in the string, it will return true, else it will return false. Likewise equals. So contains will check if the word contains in the string, and equals will check if the word is equal to the string. If you have a string called hello UiPath, it will check for the word hello UiPath. So if it is equals, it will return true. So contains will contain and equals will check every character in the string to the every character in the string which we provide. And then length. So length will, as the name suggests, it will give the length of the string. So how many characters this string contains. So like in hello, we have 5 characters. Like it will give the output as integer 5. And len is the same functionality which we can use. It will give the length of the string, how many characters this string has. And then left, right, and substring. So left will give, we have to provide the number of characters we need to retrieve from left of the string. We have a string called hello. we need to retrieve the first 3 characters of the string like HEL. So we can use the left method and provide the argument as 3. It will retrieve the first 3 characters of the string. Likewise, right will retrieve the 3 characters from the right. If it is an hello, it will return ELO. So like substring, it is like retrieving the characters from the middle of the string. Like you need to retrieve the character from 2 to 5. Like in hello, you need to retrieve from ELLO. So it will retrieve, it will provide that functionality. And starts with and ends with will check if the string starts with a particular string. So we have to provide the input string, which string we are comparing with. So it will check if that string starts with that particular word. If it is starting with that particular word we provided, it will return true. Else it will return false. Likewise, ends with will check if the particular string ends with an input string we provided. So if it is ends with an string we provided, it will return true. Else it will return false. Pad left and pad right is nothing but, so you have an input string like A123. Now you need to check if the string is 4 characters and the string will have to start from A. So we can append, so it is like appending a specific character to the left of the string. So padding is nothing but appending the particular character to the left of the string. So we can append A if it is not there. If it is there, it will ignore that. So we can see more that in the demo. And then pad right is nothing but appending the character to the right of the string. And then index of and last index of. So index of will get the index of the character from the string. Like you have an word UiPath. Now you need to get the index of the character I. So the I is in the position, second position UI. So it will be like 1. So it will return 1 as an integer. Likewise, last index of will provide the index of the last character it is fine. So likewise, UiPath will have only one I. So likewise, if we have an like hello, so let's take an hello. So it has 2L. So index of will provide the index of the first L, and last index of will provide the index of the last character. So last L. So one will provide 3 and one will provide 4. Split, as the name suggests, used to split the string based on the delimiter. So we have multiple email IDs and separated by semicolon. Now we can need to split each email ID and save that into a string. So we can split the string using the semicolon and then save that into a separate variables. And join will use to join the items in the array. So you are splitting the string. Now we have multiple items. So it will return an array. And we have multiple items in the array. Now we need to join it after some modification. So string.join will provide the functionality to join all the items in the array into one string variable. So str reverse, as the name suggests, it is used to reverse the string. So we have an hello and it will return OLLEH. So it will reverse the string. Concat is used to concatenate multiple string variables or strings. So we have hello world, UiPath, or something like that. So it will concatenate all the strings into one particular string. And format is used to format the string, and we can see more on the format. Maybe it will be easy to show us an demo if instead of explaining that. So replace, as the name suggests, used to replace an particular string with another string. Like we have, this is the world. So we need to change is to or. So we can change that using the replace method. And then remove will remove the particular characters from the string. Like we need to remove from character 2 to 5. So it will use to remove that. And string dot is null or empty is used to check if the string is null or empty. So null is nothing but the variable is created, but the memory is not assigned to the variable. So like we have created a variable, but we are not assigned anything to it. That is called a null. Empty is nothing but the variable is created and memory is assigned, but the variable is empty. So is there a difference? Okay, well, maybe I will answer these questions in the later part of the Q&A session. So like null is nothing but the variable is created, but memory is not assigned. Empty is nothing but variable is created, memory is assigned, but the variable is actually empty. So there is no characters contained in that variable. Likewise, string dot null or white space is null is nothing but, as I previously said, variable is created but memory is not assigned. White space is variable is created, memory is assigned, but the variable does not contains any characters. Instead, it contains white space. So it will contain spaces only. So it is not contains anything other than space. So before we go to the regular expression, maybe I can show you some demo in the methods which we discussed. So we have I have already created a variable called str input. So first we will put a log message. Okay. So 12 is an number. So there was one method called get type. So it is used to get the type of the variable. So 12 is an number. So it is an integer system.in32. If we run that, it is returning system.in32 because it is a number and it is an data type integer. Now we need to convert this number into a string. So there are three methods which we can use to convert this particular data type to a string. So the first is .toString. So we use a type called get type. As you can see, it is returning system.string. So it is a string now. So the another method is cstr. So cstr is nothing but convert.toString. And then we use another method called convert.toString. So basically all the three methods will provide the same output. It's just the method name is different. So whichever you are comfortable, you can use. But toString is the most recently released method. So it is recommended to use that method, .toString. As you can see, both the log message returns the type of the data type which we give. So system.string. So now we convert the date number to the string. Now we need to convert the date to the string. So now we'll provide the current date time of the system. So we need to convert this into the string. So as you can see, it is returning the string. So string is represented by the double quotes. We can also give the format of this string. So as you can see, format as string. So you just need to put the double quotes and whatever format is which we require. So dd will return the date and then So for small m it is minutes and for the capital M it is month. And then YY. So it will return the date, month and year. As you can see, dd YY. So capital M will represent the month of the date time. Now we see how to convert that another data type to a string. Now we are going to see how to trim the spaces or any particular characters from the starting or ending of the string. So put a log message. Before that, put an assign activity and assign some data to the string variable. So str input. So put some blank spaces in here and then type UiPath and then blank spaces. So first we are going to trim the spaces at the start of the string variable. So we have spaces on the start and the end of the string. So now we only need to trim the start of the variable. We can use the method called trim start. It will only trim the spaces at the start, and then trim end will trim the spaces at the end. And then there was another method called trim. So it will trim the spaces both at the start and the end of the variable. Likewise, we have another 3 methods. L-trim. So L-trim will nothing but left trim. So it is similar to trim start. It will trim the spaces at the start of the variable. And the R trim. So R trim is nothing but right trim. So it will trim the spaces at the right of the string or and the end of the string. And then trim. So it will trim the spaces at the both start and end of the string. So basically the first 3 methods and the last 3 methods will provide the same output. It's just the method name is different, and it is more recommended to use the trim start, trim end, and trim instead of L trim, R trim, and trim. So as you can see, it is remove the spaces at the start and leave the spaces at the end. So it is trim start. Likewise, trim end will remove the spaces at the end and leave the spaces at the start of the variable. Trim will trim the spaces both at the start and end of the string variable. Likewise, L trim. So both the previous 3 outputs and the below 3 outputs will provide the same result, because only the method name is different. Other than that, the results will be common. So these are how we need to use the trim function. Now we trim the spaces in the string variable, but for some time we may get the input as UiPath colon. So we don't need this particular semicolon. So we need to remove. We can use replace to replace this semicolon to nothing, but it is not recommended because it is at the end of this string. We just need to remove that semicolon at the end of the string. Like if you put and replace, and if the semicolon is present in here, so it will replace this semicolon as well. So and it is not the recommended method. So if it is semicolon is at start or end of the string, you may use the trim start and trim end to trim the semicolons. So not only semicolons, we can trim any characters which we require. So just we need to pass that character into the function. So you just open the arguments and then you put the character which you want to trim. So I want to trim the character semicolon. So it is a string, but the parameter requires an character. So we need to convert this string into a character. We can use that with an keyword C. So C is nothing but convert this string into a character. As you can see, it is trim the semicolon at the end. If the variable has semicolon at the start, it will not trim it because it is the trim end function. So it will only trim the semicolon at the end of the variable. If you want to trim both the semicolon at the start and the end, you can use a method called trim, which will trim both at the start and the end of the string variable. So now we saw trim. Now we are going to see uppercase, lowercase, and proper case. So let me change the input, maybe put an word. So this is the input word, input string, and then we need to run message box. We need to convert this string into an uppercase. So all the characters has to be uppercase. So we can use a method called uCase and then pass the input string variable. As you can see, it is converted all those characters into an uppercase. If semicolon is in the middle, we can use trim method or we can use replace. So yeah, I will answer that in the Q&A session. So please keep all the questions you have in the chat and I will try to answer that in the last 10 minutes of the Q&A session. So like we use uCase, and then there was another method called LCase, which will convert the characters to the lower case. So if the string contains any uppercase, it will convert that into lower case. If it is already lower case, it will not do anything. And then now we saw LCase and uCase. So, but those methods are not the recent methods. So the recent methods is dot to upper dot and to lower. So it is nothing but we call this method with the string variable. So it is assigned to the string variables, which the U case and L case is not. So it is recommended to use to upper and to lower to convert these uh, string into a lowercase or uppercase. So to upper will convert to uppercase and to lower will convert to lowercase. So when we put to lower, so it is converting this string to a lowercase. And then now you want to convert this into a proper case. Like we have two words, hello and world. So H, we need to convert this H into a capital and then W into a capital. So for the formatting, to make the string more aligned, so we can have a method called strcon. So it is nothing but string convert. So we can use this method and then pass the input string. When we put comma and type VB, so these are the VB methods which we have in the string convert method. So we can use any of these methods, but for now we can use, we can use this also to convert into an uppercase or lowercase. There are multiple methods we can use to convert this into an output which we require. So whichever methods you are more familiar with, you can use that. But it is recommended to use to upper and to lower, but you can use this as well. So VB lowercase will convert this input string into lowercase, and VB uppercase will convert to convert that into an uppercase. And then there was another method called VB proper case, which will convert this into an proper aligned string. So as you can see, H is converted into capital and then everything is small. Likewise, after the space, W is converted into an uppercase and everything is in the lowercase. So this is called proper case, or in recent version it is called title case, which we have the easiest method to convert into a proper title case. And then contains and equals. So contains, as I said, used to check if the string contains any particular text which we provided, and equals will compare the string which we provided to the input string. So str input assign some variable value to the variable. Hello UiPath. Now we need to check if the string contains an word UiPath. So there was one method called contains. We need to pass which string we need to check in the input string. So we need to check UiPath. We can also use combine two methods to get the desired output. So like we use to lower to convert this into a lower case. So like you see, hello H is in capital and UiPath U is in capital, but it is not mandatory that tomorrow it will be the same. So maybe tomorrow it will be U will be in the small. So and P will be in capital letter. So if you put UiPath like U and P capital, it will return false because it is not matching with the input string we provided. So it is recommended to convert that into a lower cases and then check the input string with all the lowercase or uppercase. So now it will convert this all the characters to the lowercase and check the word UiPath, which is also in the lowercase. Or you can also use the uppercase and put all the characters in the UiPath to an uppercase. So it is returning true because UiPath is contained in the input string. Now I just delete the character A and it will return false. Now we are going to check if the string is equal to the particular string which we provided. So we convert that into a lower case and then use an. So these contains and equals, we are going to use that into the if activity most of the times to check if the string is contains some word, if string is equal to word. So if it is contained or equal, we can do something. If it is not, we can do another thing. So we have to use that into an if activity or flow decision. So we have to use that into the conditional activities. For demo purpose, I just put that into a message box, but most of the time we are going to use that into the if or flow decision like switch. So most of the time we are going to use that in conditional activities. As you can see, it is returning true because hello UiPath is equal to hello UiPath. So we convert that into a lowercase and compare that with the string variable we provided in the argument. So this is the contains and equals. So length is nothing but give the length of the string. So how many characters this string contains? So this contains 5, 6, and somewhere around 10 or 11. So to check that, we put an method called length. So it will give the length of the string, how many characters this string has. So it contains 12 characters. And the index start from 0. So it will be 0 and the h will be 11. So 0 to 11, it is 12 characters. We use an also we can use a method called length to find the length of the character. And then left, right, and substring. So left will return the how many characters how many characters we need to take from the string from the left of the variable. So we need to take 5. So we need hello. As you can see, it is returning hello. So from left, it will return 5 characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So likewise, if we put right, it will return 5 characters from the right of the string. So iPath. So it is 5 characters. And substring is nothing but so substring cannot be called as a separate method. We need to use the inputs variable and then we have to call that from here substring. Maybe we need to 6 to so the 6 will be the starting index of the string like 0, 1, 2. So the space or u will be the 6 and then 5 is the length of the uh, length. So length is nothing but so we take from 6th character and then we need to take 5 characters from that index. Okay, can you hear? Can anyone hear or?
Yes, Prasath, you are audible.
Okay, yeah. Someone will put I cannot hear. Okay, cool. Okay, now 6 is nothing but the starting index of the string. So h will be the 0 and then 6 will be like here. So 6 and then from the 6th character, 6th index, we take 5 characters. So 5 is the length. So if you put 10, it will take the 10 characters. And if the string does not contain 10 characters from the starting index, it will throw an error. So now we run this workflow. So now it will return UiPath. So 5 characters from the 6th index. If you put 15, it will throw an error because it does not contain 15 characters from the starting index. We can see index and length must refer to a location within string. So starting index has to be within the string. So it has 12 characters and starting index has to be less than 12. And then the length will be the so now if you give 0 length has to be less than 11. If you give 11 length has to be less than 1 because it cannot exceed more than the length of the string. So you have to keep that in mind before executing these methods. And then starts with and ends with will okay, I think he's the only one I cannot hear. Just okay. Starts with and ends with will check if the string starts with a particular string or ends with a particular string or a character which we require. So str input dot starts with. So there was one method and we need to pass the string which we need to check. So we have to check if it starts with an word hello. If it starts with an word hello, it will return true. Else it will return false. Likewise, ends with will check the string ends with an particular character, string or character. So it will return false because it is not ends with an word hello. It ends with an word UiPath. So these are starts with and ends with pad left and pad right. So let me take this as an example. We have an account. So consider this as an account number. So A123. The format of this account number is always same. Only the 123 will change. Other than that, everything is same. So we can use a method called pad left, which will append specific character to the left of the string. So which character? So how many characters we need to the string has to have? So the string will contains 4 characters. So the length will be 4, and then if it is not contain 4 characters, which character we need to add? So we need to add an character A, and it will require an character. So we need to convert this string into an character. Be anything. But if it contains only 3 characters, it will append the character which we gave in the argument, and then it will return 4 characters. So this for this example, we can see it is only contains 3 characters. So it is appending the A to the front of the string, and then it will make that string as in 4 characters. Likewise, pad right will append the characters to the right of the variable. As you can see, 1, 2, 3 A. So A will get appended if the length is less than 4. If it is 4 or more than the length is more than 4, it will not do anything. It will ignore that. If it is less than the width we gave in the argument, it will try to append the character which we gave in the argument to the string variable. Okay. Index of and last index of will return the index of the particular character which we require. So first we put the method index of, and then which index we require. So we need to get the index of the character 2. So the character 2 is located in the which index of the string. So it is located on the first index because the index starts from 0. So the index of the 1 will be 0 and index of 2 will be 1. Likewise, we can get the last index of the particular character. So we can see that there are multiple characters with the same value 2. So it will get the last index of the character 4. So like 0, 1, 2, 3, and this index of the particular character is 4. So it will get the last index of the particular character which we gave. So like if we give the index of method, it will return the index as an integer, but you know the index. Now you want to get the character from that. So if you put 3, it will return the third index of the string. So third index of the string is 2. 0, 1, 2, and then 3. So this will return true, 2. Split and join. So as I already said, split is used to split the string into an array with the delimiter as an separator. So let's put an input. So let's put email IDs. test@gmail.com semicolon uipath@gmail.com semicolon rpa@gmail.com. So this is the input which we had, and these inputs contain some spaces. Okay, so this is the input which we get from the Excel or text file or any application we interact. So now we need to split this input into the and get these email IDs from this input. So we can use a method called split. So str input dot split. We need to pass the separator. So what is the separator here? Separator will be semicolon because each email ID is separated by a semicolon. and it is showing that it cannot be so we need to convert this into one character. So now it will return an array. So but we don't need an array, we need an string. So after converting, we can join this using the method called join. So string.join will join all the items in the array to a string variable. So what is the delimiter? So now it is called when we are splitting, we use an semicolon as a delimiter, but again we are going to join it. So which character we need to has as a separator. So like we have 3 items in the array: test@gmail.com, uipath@gmail.com, rp@gmail.com. We need to join all these items into a single string. So before joining, what is the delimiter for join? So again we put semicolon, we can put comma, so for the understanding, and then close the then comma. Okay, now we can see that it will split the input string, take the email IDs as in separate items in the array, and then try to join the those items into one single string. And the delimiter when joining is comma, so it is used the comma. So, but we are not going to just splitting and joining using the same methods. We are not doing anything in it. So for demo purpose, I just going to remove the use some link queries in here. There was already a session taken on link queries, how to use and what are the methods which we had. So I'm not going to explain much in that in this session. So we can refer the previous sessions on that. So there was one method called distinct. So it will remove the duplicate items in the array. So now this is the input string. We are splitting it using the semicolon. Now it will return an array of string. Each array will contain the email IDs. And then we remove the duplicates in that array. So if any email IDs will get duplicated in this string, it will remove that duplicated email IDs. And then we are using the link method called select, which will select the items in the array. So you can refer the link material resource from the previous session. So for now, what I'm doing is I just selecting the items in the array and then trimming it and then closing it. So what it is doing, it is taking the input string, splitting it using the delimiter semicolon. So now it will contain 3 values: test@gmail.com, uipath@gmail.com, rp@gmail.com. It will try to remove the duplicates in the array. So if there are 2 email IDs with the same value, it will remove the duplicates in that, and then select the each item in the array and then trim the value. And then using the string.join, we again join the those items into a string. As you can see, it is remove the spaces in the array and then it will convert the semicolon into a comma. So likewise, we can use combine multiple methods to get the desired output we need. So it is not only going to use the same single method. We can use all the methods we need. So we just need to make sure that we use the correct methods which we require. So string reverse will reverse the string. So if we have hello, it will return ELLO, something like that. So it will reverse the string as the name suggests. So concat and format. So concat is nothing but, as I said earlier, it is used to concat multiple. So we have to use concat multiple string into one single string variable. So there was one method called concat. So we can pass multiple values in it. It is like an array. So there are 3 string variables I have. I need to concatenate all the 3 variables into one single variable. So I just put 1, 2, 3, and it concatenate all the variables into a single variable and provide the output as 1, 2, 3. So format is nothing but string used to format the string variables. So you have you need to write an email ID like, hi, this is the current date. And then you need to put the current date. So that was an dynamic one. So that will change every day. So for now, I just put 0 and next date and then 1. So these 0 and 1 will refer to the value which we are going to provide in this argument. So now we'll return the current date, and now dot add days. It will put one, it will add 1 days to the current date. So it will return current date, and then we are adding 1 day to it. So now this 0 will represent the first argument in the variable in this argument, and this 1 will represent the second one. If we have another one, we can put 2, and it will refer to the third argument in variable in the argument. So this is just for the formatting purpose. So it is easier to maintain in the future. Like if you need to change this 0 to somewhere else, you can just copy and put here. So that will be easy to change instead of putting the semicolon plus and then appending the variable to the strings. So the current date is 23 and the future date is 24. So this is for the string dot format. And then replace will replace this string. So just put in message box. So I need to replace the semicolon with the character, maybe dot. So it will replace all the semicolon in the string to the dot. So as you can see, semicolon will be replaced to dot. And then I need to remove it. So remove is nothing but remove the particular characters from the string. So we need to provide the starting string, and then we need to provide how much characters we need to remove. So I need to remove from the second index of the string, and then I need to remove 4 characters from the second index. So it will remove those. As you can see, it is remove the EST test. So test email is changed to T email. So it is remove these 4 characters from the second index. So string dot null or empty. So it's nothing but used to check if the string is null or empty. So empty is nothing but the empty string, and null is nothing but variable is created, but the value is not, memory is not assigned. Null or white space is same. Variable is created and memory is not assigned. And white space is variable is created, memory is assigned, but it contains spaces instead of characters. So these are the .NET methods which we can use. It is not only used to use single method in a variable. We can use multiple methods, like I show how to use this thing, trim, lower, upper. So we can combine all the methods into a single sentence, and then we can use those methods to modify the input string, which we need to get the desired output. Now we saw the .NET methods. Now we are going to see what is regular expression. So instead of using the built-in methods, we can use the regular expression. So regular expression is nothing but series of is a pattern used to find the specific part of the string. Like we have an input string hello world. So you know that the world will start from the word W. So if you know that, we can use the regular expression to find that particular piece of text. So it is nothing but used to we return a pattern, and then the system will try to check if the pattern satisfies the string. So if string contains any characters which satisfy those pattern, it will return that string to the as an output. So that is what regular expression is. So where we going to use regular expression? You have an input string with multiple lines of data. So you need to find the only dates in the input string. So the date can be in the format dd, mm, yy. So you need to, what is the format of the date. You need to get those dates into the Excel file. So we can use regular expression to take the format of the dates, and then take all the values from the string, and then put that into an Excel file. Likewise, if you know, you need to take the email address from the string. So there are hundreds of lines in the text file. You read the text file, and then you store that into a string variable. Now you need to find the email ID. So the email ID can be anywhere in the text file. So we can use the regular expression to find the email address from this particular string. So how to use regular expression? So we have an couple of activities which provided by UiPath to use the regular expression with the designer wizard as well. So there are 3 activities which provided by the UiPath: ismatch, matches, and replace. Ismatch will return true or false based on the pattern satisfies the condition or not. So we have an input string and we have a pattern. If the pattern matches with the input string, it will return true. If it is not, it will return false. Matches will nothing but take so the pattern which satisfies the input string. So there are 4 string which satisfies those patterns. So it will return all the 4 matching strings, and then it will provide us an output. Replace will replace the string which satisfies the pattern, and then it will replace what we are going to we are given an argument. So and then we have some predefined methods with the same name. So match, matches, replace. So we are going to see that in the demo. And then it is recommended to import the namespace system.text.regular expression. So the methods we are going to use will be under this namespace system.text.regular expression. So these are some of the most used patterns which we are going to use in the UiPath or in any programming language. So /d will represent digits, and capital D will represents non-digits. So small d will represent digits 0 to 9, and the capital D will represent everything other than digits. So likewise, small w will represent the alphanumeric A to Z, small a to Z, capital A to Z, 0 to 9, and the capital W will represent everything other than the alphanumeric. So S will represent space, and the capital S will represent everything other than space. So dot will represent anything. So if you have an pattern which you don't know what going to be in the pattern, so you can put dot and it will represent everything. Star is nothing but you already know what is star. So most of the in selectors you put star because you don't know what will come after that. So star is nothing but 0 or everything, and plus is nothing but 1 or everything. So it has to contain at least one matched patterns. So question mark will represent anything. So 0 or false, like if it can contains or it cannot contain. So that is what question mark is. So instead of explaining, I think it will be more useful if I show that in the demo. So first we can see that what are the activities which we can use to write the regular expression. So if you come, so for using the regular expression, you need to have UiPath.system packages. So you have to install UiPath.system.activities package. So these activities comes under this package. So you go to available and then programming and then string. So you can find some of these string activities which we can use. So like replace text to write, modify text. So these are the methods which we use in the previous demo. So just an activity to mimic those actions. So let's see, match. So is match, it will return then Boolean. So if it matches the pattern, it will return true, else it will return false. And then if you click configure regular expression, it will open this wizard. So this is the test text. So what is the input text you have? So for testing purpose, I put hello text. This is the input 1, 2, 3. Okay, just the input text. So random text I put, and then there are multiple options in here. So like literal means we can put the absolute value. So you know the word text, you put text, and then exactly. So how many matches you need to have, 0 or more, 1 or more. So between X. So it will have to be, this pattern has to be matched at least 1 times, and it can match 2 times. So likewise, so it can match 1 times and it cannot exceed more than 2 times. So let's say if I put another text, so it matches 2 times. So that is what's the between X and Y times is. But now UiPath has already predefined regular expressions which we can use to find the email URL, US, so the phone number, the date, so something like that. You can use those predefined regular expressions. But now we are going to see the advanced one. So we can write the regular expression as per our need. So as I already said, /d will represent the numbers. So it will only represent number. And /capital D will represent everything other than numbers. So /w will represent alphanumeric. So A to Z and 0 to 9. So small caps and then 0 to 9. If it has any special characters, it will not get picked. And then capital W will pick everything other than the alphanumeric. So as you can see, these are the alphanumeric and it ignores these strings, and then it will match spaces and these special characters. space will get only spaces, and capital S will pick everything other than space. And then there was one grouping called, so it is a range pattern. So you know that it will, that the string may contains T to Z. So you only need to give T to Z. So you don't need to pick characters before T. So A to S you don't need to pick, and you only need to pick T to Z. So you can pick those. As you can see, it is only picking T, and after T and until Z. So before that, it is not picking everything. And if you know you need to pick the digits, you can put 0 to 9. So it will pick digits, or slash T will work. So this is the range operator. And then, okay, let me change the input text. So there was number in your string. You need to get the 1. Okay. Okay. Now slash T will represent only one character, and then if you need to pick another character, you need to put another slash T. So now it is representing 2. Okay. Now we need to. As you can see, it is it must contain at least 2 characters, and it may contains from 2 to 3. So it will contain 4 characters in the input string. Okay, now starts with and ends with. Okay, now we already saw a method called starts with and ends with. So regular expression has somewhat similar pattern to find those starts with and ends with methods. So we have a pattern called upper arrow, which will check if the string starts with a particular word. So if it starts with an hello, it will matches. If it not matches, so like put he, it is not starting with an hello, so it is not matching it. So if we use an activity called is match, so it will return false if it is not matching anything. Likewise, $sign will represent the ending of the character. So if you put world, it will match it. Okay. We have to put the $sign at the end of the pattern. So because star starts, upper arrow starts with an represent starts with, it will be represented at the start of the pattern, and dollar will have to be represented at the end of the pattern. Okay, this is the most important one. So positive. So there was concept in regular expressions like look ahead, look behind, and something like that. So positive look ahead, positive look behind. So you have an input string. Okay, you have an input string like this is the text. Now you need to check if the text ending with an word text. So we can find that using the, so if you put only text, it will find everything in the word. So if you put another text, it will find it. But we don't need to find if the string contains text. We have to find if the string ends with an text. So for that, we can use an pattern called dollar. So if it ends with a word text, it will match, else it will not match. Like say if the ends with ter, so but it is not ends with the word text, so it is not matching it. If we remove those, it will match it. So just to make sure if it ends with a particular word, we require. So the next one is the look ahead and look behind. So this is the ticket number. Ticket. Yes, it is going to give the same answer, but if you put text in here, If it contains text somewhat in the middle of the string, it will return true. So we don't need to return true if the string contains text. We need to return true only if the string ends with an word text. So for that only we need to use the $sign. So we have extracted this string. Let's assume we extracted this string from an application. So this is the ticket ID, and we need to, the ticket ID will be in the pattern A12345. We need to check, and then some other word will contain after space. So please contact IT department. So this is the input we are getting from the application. So now we need to find this ticket ID. So how we can use those to find? So there was one concept in regular expression like positive lookahead. So if we know the exact word before the string we need to find, we can use those word as an anchor. So this is the expression for it. So we has to be open with an open bracket question mark less than sign equal to, and then the anchor. So what we need to find, and then so this is the one we need to find, ticket ID and one space, because it contains space in it. /s will represent space, and then we need to find the pattern. So it will start from /w, and then it will contain 5 characters, sorry, 6 characters. As you can see, it is picking in the ticket IDs. So if you know that it will absolutely end with the word please, we can use another pattern with which uses an anchor to check if this pattern ends with this particular word. So please, as you can see, it starts with the ticket ID and then one space. This is the pattern which it is matching. So it will contain alphanumeric and it will contain 6 characters. And if it contains less than 1 character, it will not find. So it has to be 6 characters. And then it will end with an space and then the word please. So it will take this and this as an anchor and find the string in between this as an pattern. So this is the regular expression. So let's just put it as a copy and then save it. As you can see, it is already saving the pattern which we gave. So I just put it here, give the input as string. So this is the Boolean value. So it will return Boolean, true or false, and then put a message box. So it is returning true because the pattern finds the anchor ticket ID and then the another anchor please, and it matches the pattern in between those two anchors A1 to. So it is contain alphanumeric with 6 characters in it. So this match is used to return true or false, but we need to return the actual value we require. So for that we can use an activity called matches. It will return an I enumerable of match collection. So it is an collection and each item in the collection, it is an I enumerable of, sorry, it is an match collection. So it is an pattern and then this is the input. So now it will only return one value. So for now it's 0. If your string contains 2 values in it, we have to increment this index. So if we put one second. Okay, this is the match collection. I already created the variable in it. So it is an I number of match. Why to put W after S? I will answer that in the moment after we run this workflow. So this is the ticket number and then we run it. As you can see, it is matching the ticket number A123645 or maybe 3. So now the 0 will get the first ticket number. So there are 3 ticket numbers in here. So we need to take the second ticket number. Maybe let's assume. Okay. As you can see, it is getting the second ticket number. If we put 2, it will get the third ticket number. So let's copy this and put this into the here, and we can see that it is matching the 3 ticket numbers in this string. So it is the 0th index, this is the first index, and this is the second index. And there was one another concept in regular expression called grouping. We can see that now, and that is the most advanced one in here in regular expression. So this is the ticket number which we had. Okay, as you can see that it is matching the pattern please. So it is an literal. So likewise, we put the please as an constant. So it will return match this word please, and then inside this we put that into an the brackets. So it will return yes contact. So this is a group. So we can use to get this whole text, and then we can use this grouping to get this particular text. So I will show that now. Just copy it. Okay. So this is the first matching, and then we put 0 dot maybe we can put an for each to loop through all the matched collection here. So the argument has to be system dot text dot regular expressions dot match, or maybe we can use a group. So we are going to use the concept called grouping in here. So group, and then in here match collection dot group. Put a message box. So we just delete everything in here and only keep one ticket ID for now. So it is returning the first group, please contact. And then it will return the second. So first is the whole match collection. And then for the second item is the group which we created using the pattern. So now it is returning true, 2 values. But if you delete this grouping, it will return only 1 because it contains only one group, that is the matched value. So if you need to have to find 2 values in a single string, you can use this as a group, and then you can loop through the collection, and then you can use that as a separate group value to store that in here. So I think I have covered everything in here. So this slash will represent the escape character. So sometimes you need to match star and plus, but it is taken as a keyword in regular expression. So you can't match those. So you convert those keywords into a normal character, we use slash. So yeah, I think I have covered everything in here as well. So any questions? Why to put W after slash S? Where it is? So slash S will represent space. So the text contains space in here. So as you can see, ticket ID, and then there was one space. So we need to match everything in this string. We cannot ignore those space. If we ignore those slashes, it will return false because it is not matching anything. So that is why I put space in here. So any questions on here on the regular expression of the .NET methods which we saw? groups. Okay. So as is okay /d/d5. So it will get the number. So /d represent digits. So it will get digits and then it will. Okay, maybe I can show it will be useful. Okay, this is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, this is the input string you have. So /d will represent uh, number, so single number. So as you can see, it is representing single numbers. And then another /d will represent single digit. So we tell that it is not a single digit, it is in 5 digits. So if you put 1, it will not match. So it is matching then another 5 digits. So that is what it is matching. So basically it is matching 6 numbers in it. Continuous 6 continuous numbers. So 1 here and 5 here. So groups, as I said already, so group is used to group the patterns. So you have and string and you need to find 3 uh, string inside that input string. So, but you don't need to write 3 separate regular expressions to find it. You need to find please, you need to find contact, but you don't need to write 2 regular expression with the 2 matches activity or 2 matches method. So you can use as an so if you put this as an another group, so it will return now 3 string which it is matching, and then the first group, the second group. So group is used to group the patterns and then take that as an individual outputs. So that is what it is used. Yes, we can use to store it as individual variable. We just need to know which group we are referring to. So groups of 0 represent the whole, group of 1 will represent this, and groups of 2 will represent this. So you can assign like match collection dot groups of 2 will assign this contact to that particular variable. But first you need to know which group you are referring to. So if you know the group number, you can put that as an index and then you can store that into a separate variable. Yeah, any other questions, or where can we find the various Regex symbol? That makes sense. Okay, you can refer to UiPath forum as well. So we have multiple questions asked by the developers in the UiPath forum. You can see the real world examples. Just not like it is only you are technically learning something. So you are practically knowing that developers face these type of issues. So UiPath forum is the best place. And there was on another website called Regex One, I think. So regex1.com. You can find some the all the patterns in here, and the explanation will be more easily understood in regex1.com. I think it is regex1. Maybe you can refer any regex tutorial. So you can find W3 schools, you can find Java T-Point tutorials teacher. So anything you can find. So any other questions, or can we wrap it up? Hopefully everyone can understand this. Is there any difference between? Yes, in programming language, equals will assign the right side value to one left side variable, and double equals will compare those two variables. So it is as an assignment operator, it is like an comparison operator. So equals is somewhat similar with double equals, and equal is equal to the assign activity. So these and these are equal in programming and UiPath, and this is equal to the assignment. So you can use assign activity and it will do the exact same operation as one equals, and double equals is equal to the equals method used to compare two variables. Okay, I think yeah, thanks, Praduman. I think we can wrap it up if you don't have any other questions. So thank you everyone for joining this call, and hopefully you are all learning something new. Thanks.